trade SunnyBands. I've been trading SunnyBands for 36 years with no changes. And today I'm going to show you how I use Fibonacci and Elliott along with my SunnyBands to trade. My passion is in helping beginners and intermediate traders. So this talk is for those who have not yet become wildly successful, that is, greater than 100% per year, and people who've not traded much and want to learn, and folks who want to improve their trading results. I have a lot of people that come to me and say, I've lost all my money, I've blown out all my accounts, and how can you help me now? So it's important that you come to me before you blow out your accounts, and then I can help you improve. I love to teach and mentor and consult. I love to help people who need to have help getting to successful. And I post my cell phone number, which is 760-908-3070 on the top of my website, which is moneymentor.com, at the bottom of every page. So I post my phone number so you can call me, and please do. The disclaimer is you can and will lose money trading. All investing is risky, and don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. That's really important. And I will be posting this presentation. I'll be posting the slides on moneymentor.com under appearances, so you can see our full disclosures and details. I am a professional trader. I've been trading for almost 45 years now. I trade futures, stocks, and crypto, but I don't trade options. I'll tell you a bit about myself, but first I'm going to show you how I trade. This is the screen that I use in my live trading room every morning. The yellow chart's a 1-minute chart. The green chart is a 5-minute chart. And over to the right, we have a 1-minute chart of the NASDAQ. And then I have the matrix in the background, which is how I place my trades. But the key chart is the green one. That's the 5-minute chart. And this one is of the E-mini. So I trade the E-minute on a 5-minute chart every day. I trade stocks on a daily chart. So that's a little different. But last year in the live trading room, we made 482%. This year, I'm really disappointed because we've only made 65% so far this year. The S&P's made 99% so far this year, so 65 is better than that, but I'm still disappointed. I am a professional trader, so I get charged professional fees. I've been a professional trader since 1981, through the 41% crash of 87, the 38% crash of 2000, the 52% crash of 2007 and 8, as well as the 38% COVID crash. And the next one. I do think we're going to have a bit of a retracement in October. We're just going higher and higher right now, but I think we're going to have a bit of a retracement. I trade the S&P 500 futures contract primarily on 1 and 5-minute charts. You saw the green one, that was the 5-minute chart. And the S&P is said to be the most difficult market to trade, but I've been trading it for nearly 45 years. And to me, it's the easiest. It'll be 45 years in January. I do have long-term stock holdings. When I trade on my stocks, I trade daily charts. And compared to a 5-minute chart, daily charts are long-term. So I trade a week or more on stocks, and I do trade a little bit of cryptocurrencies. So today I'm going to show you how I trade. I use SunnyBands, which is my own proprietary formula, and I use my dynamic moving averages, or DMA. And today I'm going to show you how I do it with Fibonacci and Elliott waves. Oh, forget the sunny side of the street. I'm not doing that anymore, but I do have a podcast that I post every day, and you can see how it works. And if you can't find it, email me, sunny@moneymentor.com, or you can click above when you get the PDF. The slides will be at at moneymentor.com/appearances. And if you want to join as a free member of Money Mentor, you just click on membership, and then you can get everything I offer, including the members only page. And I also do a free podcast called The Sunny Harris Show. I used to do it with Sam Tennis, who was the originator of TradeStation's Easy Language, but Sam Tennis died last month. So he was my best friend, and I miss him terribly. I was rated #1 trader twice, with 365% one year and 178 the next year, using SunnyBands and my DMA. And there I am, right at the top. I grew up dirt poor in Appalachia, and now I have a BA and an MS and a PhD in mathematics, an AA in photography, and many post-grad classes. I've been programming for 56 years and trading for almost 45 years now. I was a systems programmer for Lockheed when I first got out of college, and I was founder of ISCO, which became the world's leader in computer graphics software. And I retired when I was 30 years old. I gave my millions to money managers because I thought that was the smart thing to do, because I knew nothing about the stock market. And they lost $75,000 in the first 3 weeks, and I decided I could do that poorly on my own. So I taught myself to trade. I read 117 related books. Now I've read 747 so far. And people who come to my live trading room can see my bookshelf behind me. And there are 747 books in there. I did not enter a single trade for the first year of watching the market. I just got the rhythm. I plotted my charts by hand because back then we didn't have computers and there was no way to plot it automatically. I've written 5 best-selling books: Trading 101, Trading 102, Trading 103, no, Electronic Day Trading 101, Getting Started in Trading, TradeStation Made Easy. And then with my good friend Linda Blair, I wrote Going Vegan. With Murray Ruggiero, who's also deceased, I wrote Using Easy Language 9.x. And now I've written the definitive guide to TradeStation's Easy Language and OOEL programming with Sam Tennis. I've written articles for all the major magazines. Here they are. And here are the covers of my books so you can see what I've written. And I had a monthly magazine for 8 years, Trader's Catalog and Resource Guide. And there's the Going Vegan book. And these are the 2 most recent books: Definitive Guide to TradeStation's Easy Language and OOEL Programming. That's 1,300 pages of easy instruction. I have a quips and quotes. You'll see the box on the quips part. So I have a quips and quotes on my website that says everything anybody's ever told me, including the 2 bad reviews I've gotten. I have a Facebook page. I post my notifications. I also have a Substack which is if you look for Sunny Money Mentor, or TCRG Sunny. TCRG is Traders Catalog and Resource Guide. So tcrgsunny.substack.com. And I post every night, I post a free market prediction about where I think the market's going tomorrow. I also have Trade Along with Sunny, which you can click here. It's my daily live trading room every morning at 7:30 in the morning. I do a live trading room. And you can see I have customers all over the world, so it doesn't matter where you are. Don't be afraid to give me a call. I'm working right now with a guy from Israel as bombs go over his head. And I do have customers all over the world. Now, I'm going to tell you what is probably the most important slide in this whole deck. That's how to make a six-figure income. So let's say we want to make 120 grand a year. Now, of course, I chose this because it divides easily. So 120,000 a year over 12 months is 10,000 a month. Now that seems a little easier to make than 120 grand a year. So we're going to continue to break it down. 10 grand a month, if you divide by 20 trading days, is $500 a day. Now that seems like a lot easier to do than saying 120 grand a year. But that makes 5 trades a day at $100 each. That's easy to do. All you have to do is just keep doing it one day after the next, over and over and over again. And there's usually between $1,000 and $3,500 per day potential in the S&P if you go long and short, just one contract. Let's look at a chart of the Dow Jones. So where are we going from here? And that's what my little Substack's called. It's where is the Dow going from here? So I'm looking at this and saying, where is tomorrow? So that chart doesn't tell you much. It looks like you just get on and hold on. In fact, it really looks kind of scary. Is it going down further? Is it going up? Is it at a bottom? Is it going to turn around? What's going to happen next? What's high and what's low? I mean, Wally talked about higher highs and higher lows and lower highs and lower lows. That's key to looking at where the market's going to go. So when do you enter? Is it too late to enter? Is it still going up, or is it going to stop now and turn around? So the first thing I do is I put a little indicator that I have called current price on my chart, and it shows me exactly where the current price is. It makes it easy for me to see. The next thing I do is add Fibonacci lines. So you can see I put Fibonacci on this move from here to here, and then I've got Fibonacci lines that show me exactly where price is going to be turning around. I add something I call attractors, and that is these orange lines, and I put them at the confluence of price activity. So you can see it hit it here, hit it right here again, hit it over here again, and those I call attractors. This one is at these prices, confluence of price activity all over this area. And it hits it again here, hits it again here, here, and here. I also use trend lines as attractors. You can see this hits here, and hits here again. So that's also an attractor. And then I add some of my indicators. I have something I call SunnyBands, which I'll explain to you in just a minute, and the dynamic moving average histogram. Then I use all-time high and all-time low, and that's the chart I get from that. You can see the trend line. You can see SunnyBands, which are the green bands around price, the blue bands that are interior to that, and the dynamic moving average is the gold and purple moving average that goes through the center of price here. That's called SunnyBands. Then I have a histogram, which is below the chart, that shows me when price is turning. So I know when the price move is over and heading the other direction. So now I can see something. I added detractors. They're not just support and resistance, they're also trend lines and moving averages. Anything that is the confluence of price activity. Trend lines are attractors, moving averages are attractors. Fib retracements are attractors, Elliott waves are attractors. All these things call price to them. So let's go farther. I am not an Elliottician. I'm going to show you what I think, but I'm not an Elliottician. I'm a mathematical person and a photographer. I think I can see patterns and numbers. So let's take a look at what I think I see. You see here we have 0, which is the start of the one wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got the 5 wave, which is yet to form on this chart. So that's what I think of Elliott waves. And we can see the Fibonacci lines are on there as well. Let's learn a little bit about Elliott waves and Fibonacci. In an impulse move, the two non-extended waves tend to be about equal in size. The best measurement tool for equality for all but very minor cycles is percentage, not price points. If equality does happen, a Fibonacci ratio between two, say 61.8% of wave one, often occurs. The extended wave will tend to be at least 1.618 times of the non-extended waves. I have found that first you have to find wave one. From that, you can count that wave two is 50%, 61, or 76% of wave one. Wave three is 161% of wave one. Wave four is 23 or 38% of wave three. Wave five is wave one times 61.8 of wave one to wave three. You can put those in a spreadsheet and calculate exactly where the next wave is going to go. So what about Fibonacci? Leonardo Pisano, named son of Fibonacci, was an Italian mathematician born in Pisa in the year 1170. His father, Guglielmo Bonaccio, worked at a trading post in Bugia, now called Bijaya, a Mediterranean port, in northeastern Algeria. As a young man, Fibonacci studied mathematics in Bugia, and during his extensive travels, he learned about the advantage of the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. So the Fibonacci sequence starts with 0 and 1, and each number is the sum of the two prior numbers. So the sequence then is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc. So you add these two numbers together to come up with 2, these two numbers together to come up with 3, these two to get 8, and so on. It's the ratio between the numbers that we use as traders, however. So here we have the sequence 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And then the ratio of the first numbers of the second number is in column B. So it's 0.618. And you can see that after just a little bit of time, we come up with 0.618 as we measure the ratio of 13 to 21, 21 to 34, 34 to 55, etc. And it centers in on 0.618. And that's how we get that Fibonacci retracement. So 1 to 2, etc. Now, if you go to number 1 to number 3, you get 1 to 3 comes to 0.33, 0.38, 0.38, and on down till we've got it really steady at 0.38. So that's the ratio. 61.8, 38.1, 1 or 2, etc. If you take the ratio of number 1 to number 4, you get column D, which is 0.236. So 1 to 4 is 0.25. And if you continue to divide that ratio, you get 0.236. And that's how we derive those numbers. The second number divided by the first number is 1.618. That's how we get that extension. And as you divide it farther and farther, you get closer and closer to the result. Here you go. So let's look again at the chart. So we've got these numbers now, and you can see the light blue lines. We've got 618, 76, 38, 50%, etc. as we see these Fibonacci extensions go on and on. And these things are amazingly precise. You can see price drop to them over and over and over again. Now I've got another indicator that I call PHW, which stands for potential hourly wage. And I put yellow dots on my chart. So let's talk about PHW. The question we ask is, can you make more by trading than you can by working for an hourly wage? So let's say that the hourly wage at McDonald's now is $25 an hour. The dots that I put on these charts are the ideal turning points. Of course, we can't be perfect, so I take 60% of the ideal as a goal. I figure I can leave 20% on the chart on the entry and 20% on the exit, and that leaves me with 60% of the ideal move. So here are the yellow dots. You can see here, 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 here. These are the ideal moves. And with this PHW indicator, I print out at the end of the chart what the ideal profit would be, what 60% would be, what the number of trades would be, and the date time frame from beginning to end of the chart. So buy and hold at the beginning of 2020, let's say, and selling at the end is $34,000 on the Dow Jones. 60% of that on the same chart is $327,000 if you take all of the ideal trades and then take 60% of that value. So that's quite a difference. Let's look at Ethereum, same idea. Buy and hold is $1,000 versus $23,000 by trading it with each of the yellow dots. On a daily chart, trading one share. So let's look at Tesla, same idea. Buy and hold would be $237 per share. Trading would be $2,100 per share. And then US bonds, same idea. We've got Fibonacci lines on there. You can see the yellow dots, and it tells us exactly how much money we could make on there. Buy and hold would be $78 per share. Trading would be $1,300 per share. And let's look at Apple. So Apple, how do you know when you look at Apple that you should have bought in 1982 at 12 cents a share and holding it for 40 years? So I look at my SunnyBands, my dynamic moving average histogram, and my PHW in order to decide what to trade. SunnyBands is an offshoot of my dynamic moving average. It was designed to allow me to investigate the excursions from the DMA, both favorable and adverse. The bands are average true ranges away from the DMA, dynamic moving average. These bands are not like Bollinger Bands. He uses standard deviations away from a simple moving average. Standard deviations tell the market where it should go statistically, and the moving average is the one with the most whipsaw. My DMA is smooth and dances seamlessly with the market and avoids most whipsaw. And I use ATRs, which are has the market been and where is it going. If you look at simple moving averages on a chart, you can see that they cross here, cross here, cross here again, cross, 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 cross. And during each of these crosses, you're losing money. During the trending periods, you can make money pretty easily, but during each of these crosses, which are whipsaw, you're going to lose money. So that's why I don't use simple moving averages. They are late signals and lots of whipsaw. Trade, 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 trade again, and it just whipsaws you up. You just lose all your profit. So let's look at my DMA, dynamic moving average, versus a simple moving average. So here we have the yellow dots. The magenta and blue lines are the simple moving average. The gold and purple lines are my dynamic moving averages. You can see that they don't cross over and back and over and back like a simple moving average does. They stay with the trend as long as we have a trend. And during whipsaw times, they go sideways. So if we've got a flat DMA, we know we're in congestion and that there's not a whole lot we can do other than just trade back and forth in a congestion pattern. So the difference is cross, cross, and the dynamic moving average, the purple and the gold, just goes straight across and stays with the trend. It's unique. Two things are unique. It's unlike anyone else's moving average. Nobody else has come up with this formula yet. And it calculates its own lengths dynamically within the program. So the mathematics of the DMA is unique, and it's well, let's say that you use 9 and 18 for your moving average. Those are the default values that most programs use. So if you use 9 and 18, it stays 9 and 18 for the entire moving average. My DMA calculates its own lengths dynamically. So it's changing with every bar of the chart, it's changing those input values. And the market moves about as much as it usually moves, which led me to use average true ranges to measure how much it usually moves. So the rules for trading SunnyBands are when the market is going up on blue, and I use blue and red for my candles. The SunnyBands are green, and if I use green and red for my candles, it's hard to see. So I use blue and red. So if it's going up on blue candles and it gets above the upper outer band and turns red and dips below the upper outer band, I go short. When the market's going down on red candles and it gets below the lower outer band and turns blue, pops above the lower outer band, I go long. It's as simple as that. That's really the basics of the whole thing. And of course, there are a few more complex rules. And you can see that the traders long and short trades, yellow dots, yellow dots, yellow dots. And here's a swing traders chart, intraday. Now I have another indicator that I call day sessions that's red and blue during the day session of the entity, green and magenta during the night session. So it makes it easy for me to see. I like to create indicators that make life easy for me. I don't like to be constantly thinking while I'm trying to trade, so that I have different colored bars for day and night sessions. So that's a swing traders chart. And here's a day traders chart. Let's look at a 3-minute chart with the yellow dots. So in the same amount of time, an investor made $168 a share. The trader made $2.99 per share, and the day trader made $6.10 per share. So that's why I'm a trader, not just an investor. If you'd started with 100 shares, the investor made 16 grand, the trader made 29 grand, and the day trader made 61 grand. So that's quite a difference. If you started at 47 cents on Apple in 1981, the current price at the time that I wrote this was 156. So the investor made 399%. That's really good. But the trader made 635%, and the day trader made 1,200%. So that's why I trade. I trade and I'm an investor both. On my stocks, I trade a daily chart and I trade the same PHW dots and the same SunnyBands rules, just exactly. Is this possible? Well, yes and no. You can't catch all the moves. You're not going to get every yellow dot. But I figure I can capture 60% of each move when trading, and that's what's reflected on these charts. But the investor must sit through long periods of scary negative markets, while the trader can go short. So let's look at the Dow Jones a second. It's something we're all familiar with. It's reported daily on the news. We can all relate to the numbers. And when they report the Dow is down 300 points, you know what that means. I've had people in my live trading room ask me, well, does the Dow lead the S&P? And the answer is no. They're loosely correlated. But we know when somebody says it's down 300 points, we know what that means. In the last few months, the Dow's up 9,000 points. Here's a chart of the Dow. And you can see I have my SunnyBands on there. I also have a 21, a 55, and a 200 period moving average, which the markets tend to go back and forth to those levels. And I also have my dynamic moving average histogram, which is the gold and red lines, the purple and green lines. And these tell me when the market is losing momentum or gaining momentum. And I use these for trading as well. Dow Jones Weekly looks like this. Same indicators. And I also use Vantage Point AI software. It's predictive, it's artificial intelligence, and they tell me where they think it's going to go tomorrow. So I don't use it for trading. I use it for overall looking at where the market might go. So I look at where things are likely to end up or down tomorrow. And I do post it on moneymentor.com. If you click down a little bit, if you scroll down on the Money Mentor, you'll see that this chart's posted every day. I do consult it every night before trading the next day. And if you want to get free training on how to use this, this is the link. You'll be able to find it in moneymentor.com/appearances. And here's what it looked like last week. Let's talk more about the Dow. Let's look at the standard moving averages quoted in Barron's, IBD, Investors Business Daily, and the Wall Street Journal. They usually use 20, 50, and 200-day moving averages. I use 21, 55, and 200 because 21 and 55 are Fibonacci numbers. And then the 200 because everybody's looking at that. So here are the moving averages. You can see price plays with that blue one, which is the 21 over and over again. And then it hits the 55, which is the gold line, comes down with that, back up again on the 21, above the 55. And oh, in this case, I have 233 instead of 200 because that's also a Fibonacci number. Now here's the dynamic moving average in SunnyBands with Fibonacci numbers. And you can see, actually, I have a projection on that chart, it shows 42,000, but on the current chart, it shows 47,000 for the Dow. So that's where I think we're going in the near future, 47,000 on the Dow. So here's how I choose stocks. I don't short stocks because I don't like the margin requirements. That's the only reason. But when I get a signal to go short on a stock, I just exit and take profits. So I buy and hold after a buy signal, and then I wait for the sell signal to take profits. This next chart tells me which stocks are above the 2155 and 200-day moving averages. And it also tells me whether my dynamic moving average is bullish or bearish and what the potential profit is. So I'm looking for stocks that are above all three moving averages, 21, 55, and 200, that should say. And this is the radar screen on TradeStation. You can see out here at the right, we've got a yellow column. That yellow column tells me what the potential hourly wage is, PHW. So I can look at this and say, well, the best stock to trade is the one with the highest PHW. So I'm looking for this 16,000 over here, which is, I can't tell what one that is. But the PHW is in yellow. And then the three moving averages are here in red and green, light red and light green. And the dynamic moving average is red, purple, gold, and green. And that tells me whether the stock's been moving up, is going up further, is moving down, or going down further. And then I screen for what stocks are showing all true sells, which is everything above all three of those moving averages. So I look at the scanner results for the all over 2155 and 200. So here's the scan. And there are 167 stocks on this right now. I just ran the scan a few minutes ago. And these show me all the ones that are bullish, that is above all three moving averages. This is Money Mentor right now. I'm having it completely redone, so it'll look different in a couple of weeks. But this is what Money Mentor looks like right now. And I have all the products I programmed for use in my own trading. I didn't program my indicators to sell to you, although I do make them available. I programmed them for my use in my own trading. Now I show you exactly how I use them. If you buy any of my products, we have a Zoom session after purchase or before purchase if you'd like. I do give a free 7-day trial, and I show you exactly how I use them. So we go to moneymentor.com/order or moneymentor.com/products.html, and you can see how to purchase these things. I do have right now, for just a few days, just till the 30th of September, I have a 40% discount on everything I offer. So if you're interested in these things, now's the time to get them because I don't offer this except once a year. So this is the time to get the best discount you can possibly get. And I don't hold back. I tell you exactly how I use them. I'm not like some of the vendors who will kind of wave their hands and tell you, we'll do this, this, and this, and you don't really know exactly how to use them. So I do show you exactly how I use my indicators. And I train you to use them for free. I do a Zoom session for installation and another Zoom session for showing you how I use them. And it's free. I offer education and consulting, easy language, which is TradeStation's programming language. So easy language programming services, mentoring. I do have a complete bookstore. All you have to do is go to books.html and buy books from Amazon there. And they're all trading books. I do offer a solving the puzzle course in distance learning and the indicators that I use myself in my own trading. I also do free nightly projections on tcrgsunny.substack.com, Traders Catalog and Resource Guide Sunny at substack.com. And I've been pretty accurate. So if you order before September 30th, you can have 40% off all my indicators and mentoring. And I do now offer a 3-month payment plan. If you can't afford to pay right up front, you can do a 3-month payment plan. And that even includes consulting and mentoring time. If you want a free 7-day trial, just call me or email me, sunny@moneymentor.com. My cell phone is 760-908-3070. I answer the calls throughout the day, and it's not a salesman, it's not an assistant, it's me. Let's see, where can we get questions? I'm going to go to the chat now and see if we can find some questions. Do you believe retracement will be more severe in NASDAQ? Will it begin next week on Monday? I don't know exactly where it's going to begin. I think it's going to begin sometime between now and the end of October. So that's not necessarily next week, but it's sometime in the near future. Could you show the URL again? Sure. Look at the bottom of the page, moneymentor.com. You see this at the bottom of every page, moneymentor.com. And what URL did you want? Did you want to see the free trial, the order page? Let me know what you want and I'll give it to you. I'll be taking my dog for a walk. That's pretty good. I have a little dog. I have a 2.5-pound Yorkshire Terrier, and I take her everywhere I go. I'm going to step away. Do you believe retracement? Could you show the URL again? Vantage Point AI. If you go to moneymentor.com, you can see the Vantage Point link right on the home page. So everything's there. Just go to moneymentor.com. There's over 1,000 pages in this website. I'm currently redoing it completely, so it'll be different in another month or so. But moneymentor.com, everything is there. David, I went a little faster than I expected tonight. So if there's anything else, let me know. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Chances are, if you have the question, somebody else did too. Do my indicators work on TradingView? That's an excellent question. No, they don't. And the reason is that TradingView's programming language is not sophisticated enough to handle the mathematics of my SunnyBands. Thank you for that. Do I have Canadian clients? Many. What is the cost of your service? Well, SunnyBands, I'd have to go to moneymentor.com to tell you. SunnyBands is something like $3,000. The DMA is $2,000 or something. It's expensive, but the reason it's expensive is because it works. Most things that are free or low cost don't work. So I charge because if it works for you and you're making money, and most people who get a free trial of my indicators make money during the first week of the free trial. So because it works, I charge. Do you offer a veterans discount? No, I'm sorry, I don't. But I do have 40% off right now at the moment. That's the most I have ever offered. It's just on TradeStation? No, it's on TradeStation, Multicharts, Metastock, and NinjaTrader. So it's on 4 different platforms. Anything else? All right, give me a call. Let me put my number in here again. There you go. That's my cell phone. So anybody that wants to host and panelists, let's see if we can get to everyone. Try it again. 760-908-3070 is my cell phone. Do you get the indicator on all the platforms for one cost? No, I'm sorry you don't. But on additional platforms, you can get it at half price. David, I went faster than I thought I was going to be going tonight. So thank you for hosting the event. I've really enjoyed talking with you. And audience, thanks for your attendance. I do love to visit, so give me a call. My number's at the bottom of every one of these slides. You can see that. And here's my contact information. moneymentor.com. What type of mathematics is in the indicators? That's a good question. It's second derivatives and what else is it? Second derivatives and I can't remember. But it's complex mathematics and it doesn't work on a lot of platforms. Anything else? Any more questions? And I will be here all night. Anybody wants to give me a call or a text or are you willing to discuss the formula with students? No more than I can tell you here. It's proprietary. I don't let it out. And it's been working for 39 years with no changes. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate your attendance.